Let me start with the lens. So I'm going to click the lens. In the lens, we have, I'll start from the down. This, my phone operates on front camera 1 and front camera 2. That means it has 2 front cameras. So let me go to front camera. If I go to front camera, you can see this is me. Now, if I turn back to camera 2, it's still gonna show me because it's going to use the second camera. But if I go to the 0.6x, which is 14 mm, you see something like normal lens, wide angle lens, ultra wide, that kind of thing. So I don't know if I should call this a wide angle lens because it is totally different from the 1x, which is the normal lens. So this one is the 14 mm. Let me go to 23 mm. This is the normal lens. You see the normal lens. So this is, let me call it maybe wide or ultra. I don't know. It's not going to be ultra wide. This is wide angle lens. Okay, 0.6x. That's what I should call it. Then we have the 1x, which is the normal lens. That's the normal phone camera lens that every other phone has. Okay, so all other ones are extra lens that we are attached to the phone by the phone manufacturers. All right, let me go to 3x. So this is 3x with the zoom. Okay, so it's 3x. That is 3 times zoom. Now let me go to the 10x. So this is 10x. All right. Now let me come back to the 1x. Now these are the lens. Depending on the type of video that you want to achieve, you can use any of these lenses. But I will give you one bonus tip. Wide angle, which is this 0.6x, it is used to push your camera or to push your subject or push your view backward so that you can capture more view. You can get more view if you use the wide angle. It's going to bring in more depth to your footage. Okay, so in essence, I'll just tell you the 0.6x is used to capture or give your footage more depth and add more information. In the FPS is frame per second. So this FPS is trying to say how many frames will your camera capture in a second, meaning before you say 1, my camera has captured 24 frames. Okay, so every 1 second my camera captures 24 frames. You will understand it better if you are an animator, maybe 2D animator. Let me use, for example, 2D animator. That animation is being built frame by frame, meaning the animator has to draw a 2D image for each frame that is going to be played. So it means, like, let's say in an exercise book, we have 24 leaves. So that 24 leaves now is contributing to 1 second of a video. So in 1 second of a video, the animator is going to draw and fill that 24 leaves, or let me say 24 pages, for it to make up one video. Okay, now this is the information we use to achieve cinematic video. If you are shooting cinematic movie, it's best ideal to use 24 fps. Then if you are doing talking head, that is where you can now switch to 30 fps. Now how do we switch? As this fps has been selected, if you look at where it says towards that 4K side, you see 24 selected. If we scroll down, we'll select 25 fps. You can see that it has changed. This is 25 fps. If we scroll down again, we select 30 fps. This is 30 fps. From what I'm seeing here, I can only capture up to 30 fps using my Blackmagic camera, shutter speed or shutter angle, depending on the one you have selected. Remember, we have selected our FPS, which is our frames per second. Now we are moving to the shutter speed or shutter angle. There are 2 modes here. You can select one mode. If you have watched our previous video, you will notice that I told you that when you go to the settings and go to camera, then you hover around shutter measurement, that there are 2 settings, the shutter speed and shutter angle. And I said something about the shutter speed and shutter angle. You can go and check out the video. So my own is set to shutter angle. I'll come back to my camera. In the shutter angle, I'm going to repeat this rule again. We have rule of 180. That is 180 rule. If you are shooting a cinematic video, you have to follow the 180 rule. As I am shooting in 24 fps, that my shutter speed is going to be double of my fps. My fps is 24. It means that my shutter speed should be 1/48, because 2 times 24 will give us 48. Now I'm coming here, I'm no longer using shutter speed. I'm now using shutter angle. I'm going to drag this slider till I get to 180. Once you get to 180, you click this lock button here to lock your shutter speed or to lock your shutter measurement. The same way, that is the same thing you will do if you are using shutter speed. Okay, I'm using shutter angle. Now I'm moving over to the next thing, ISO. ISO controls how much light my camera is picking. Now generally, it is best to keep your ISO as low as possible, especially when you are shooting with mobile phones, because raising your ISO too high can introduce grainy noise to your footage. 200 ISO is good, from 400 down is good. Let's say from 400 down, you kept on raising your ISO till 400 and your footage still looks underexposed, then you can raise it to 500. At least you should try to achieve something below 500 for Blackmagic camera app. Try to achieve something below 500 so that you don't introduce too much noise to your footage. So you can see I'm using artificial lighting, so I'm going to pull my ISO around 320 is okay for me. White balance. Do not auto white balance your footage. The best practice for white balancing your footage is to get a white paper and place it where light is in front of your camera. Then you can use auto white balance to balance. That is when you place white paper and the light you have is a white light or fluorescent light. So the best practice is put your white balance in 5600 Kelvin for daylight and lock your white balance. Okay, then you can shoot with this. For daylight, if you want to achieve a warmer tone, in fact, let me not talk about daylight, but if it is in daylight and you want to maintain the daylight natural look, use 5600 Kelvin. Now, if you want to go for something warmer, you can still move up, maybe up to 7000 or 6500 Kelvin, depending on the tone you want to achieve. Then, if you are at night, let me say night, this is night already. You know, all these things, I'm not saying it's a must for you to do this particular thing. It just depends on the tone, the feel, the emotion you want to pass. This is for cool colors or cool tone. You can see 2500 Kelvin, okay? And if you are testing this white balance, please always use white light. This is a colored light. Do not use colored light to do your white balance. No, use white light. I'm just doing this for the sake of this tutorial. All right. So we're going to keep our white balance at 5600 Kelvin and lock it. The next thing is the tint. Normally, if you raise your WB, which is your white balance, to something like this 5600 Kelvin, the tint is just to compensate, to give it more, should I say, brushing, to brush off the look that you have already achieved with your white balance so that it looks more smoother, more uniform. I used to leave my tint at +9. For you to adjust the tint, you have to unlock this locked icon, and unlocking this locked icon is going to unlock your white balance, so both of them work hand in hand. Okay, I'm going to move over to the next thing, which is the buttons down here. I'll start with the first one, the upper one, which is this. Now when I toggle it on, you can see that it brings out different buttons here. The first one is the zebras. So if I click on the zebras, it says the zebra is off, so I'm going to click on. I want to drag till I get to something. So this is 75 degrees. Let me be moving. Normally I like putting the zebras at maybe 85. This is showing you at what percentage of exposure your footage is. For example, an exposure at 85%, like I've put my zebras at 85% now, it means it's not getting enough exposure. 75% there is zebras, meaning I need to either increase my light or add more light to this scene. The zebra is trying to tell you which part of your footage is receiving more light. That is what the zebra is trying to tell you. Which part of the footage is receiving more light? And if you are lighting your scene, you will always want your skin tones to receive more light than your background. So you use zebras to check if the lighting is on your body, on your face, on your skin tone, and not on your background. Then you know that your lighting is cool. So you can see the part of our footage that is receiving more light at 75% exposure than others. Focus assist. I don't know, or I should call it focus picking. Now I'm going to turn it on. If I turn it on, it will show you. Remember, in our former video, I said I left my focus assist color to be red color. That is the red color that is appearing here. So my focus assist is just showing me which part of my footage is in focus and which part is out of focus. You can see that the only thing that is in focus or is well focused is the light stand and the edge of the curtain. You can see it is focused. Increase it to 100, then increasing it to 100, you can see that the reds became that prominent. So it means other parts of this footage will be blurry. It's only the light stand, the light, edge of the curtain, and the picture frame down here is going to be in focus. That is, it's going to be sharp. You're going to see it sharp. Other places are going to appear blurry. If we come to this one, this is the grid. Okay, this particular one is the grid. You can see it divides the video into how many portions? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, into 9 portions. And in that 9, you want to make sure that your talking head is in the center of this line. You want your subject or whatsoever your video to be at the center. So the grid will tell you which part will whatsoever you are focusing on be in the video. All right, now let me go to the second item. In this one, you can see there is something happening. I'm moving the camera, so it's trying to tell you if there is a bend. For you to ensure that you are in good position, your camera, that is your camera, you just have to have a single plus. If this thing turns, let me say blue, if it turns blue like this, just know that yes, your camera or your tripod is balanced, is not bending, is well balanced horizontally and vertically. But if I leave my tripod, you can see that vertically so the third one is another tool here. It's also looking like a guide, but I noticed that when it comes in contact with a place that is dark, it shows blue icon. So this is used to show you that where my subject is there light in there? Is it well lit? Is it okay? Because if I turn this to here, you can see it turns blue. You can see the color changed. Then we have the dot home. Now I'm going to say something about the dot home. Let's say you are shooting for VFX editing and you want to shoot 2 to 3 scenes that will have the same point. Like you're trying to aim at a particular point. For example, let's say I'm aiming here. If I see a black dot on the wall, let me position this dot to be there. So let's say this dot is here now, and I shoot the first video like this, and in my second video I'm keeping the camera like this, and I want the center of this video to still be on that black dot. This is what I will use to still center my whole scene on that black dot, so that this footage, this particular second footage, will match the first footage I've shot. Okay, I'm going to move over to this one. We use this to achieve different aspect ratio. For example, 4:3, which is the open gate. There are lots of them. There are lots, but it doesn't mean that using them you will not capture full frame. You are capturing a landscape video, you can see. But let's say I want this video to also be shared to TikTok. You know, TikTok uses vertical resolution, and I don't want to just shoot vertical resolution immediately. I want to shoot a landscape video that I'll post to YouTube and also crop it to post to TikTok. What we use this for is, whatever you are doing, just make sure that this 2 line that is here, that you are not moving out of them, that you are in between, just like we have positioned our subject, which is the light, in the middle of these 2 lines. So whatever we are doing, we should not move out of these 2 lines, so that when we want to crop our video for vertical aspect ratio, we will not crop out important areas in our footage. So that's the essence, and that's the essence for all these, just to give you guys. This one now is the one we use for movies. You can see all those cinematic movies that used to crop the upper and lower edge of the video. This particular feature is called the false color. I'm going to turn it on. Now I'm going to say something. This is used to check your colors. It's used to check if you are losing color information. Now let me start. For skin tone, you should be aiming at green 18%, then magenta +1. You should be aiming between magenta. There is a small gray color here in between 18% magenta and magenta plus. So you should be aiming to be around there. Like your skin should be aiming to be around here. If I put my hand, you see that my hand have pink, purple, or I don't know whether it's purple and blue. Now let's go to what this reads. The blue color says near black. NBDL means that side of the footage is totally dark. If I turn it off, all those black places have that purple stuff. The blue part is showing that side is almost going towards darkness. You can see the blue part almost going towards darkness. Now the green is showing you that yes, this place have nice skin tone. You can see the green, where the green is almost looking like the color of man's skin. The gray part is in between 18% magenta and near NBDL. So your skin tone should be this magenta up that is here, which is magenta +1, then towards white like we have here, so that you can get a nice skin tone. Okay, and go back. Now the yellow is showing that is almost being overexposed. You can see that we don't have any yellow here and we don't have any red. So our footage is not that highly exposed. Now I'm going to give you a trick. You should raise your lights, whatsoever accessories you have, to the point where you just have small dripping red on your false color to know that your colors are good, so that you will avoid underexposure and also avoid overexposure. My lights use battery and they are down. The batteries are down. I'm just using this USB light. I would have demonstrated it here for you to see. Now, let me move to the last feature here, which is the thunder icon. This is for flashlight. You can see the flashlight. Now, let me leave this flashlight on and go to my first color and turn it on. If I bring, you can see that I have that magenta +1 on my hand around here. You can see the magenta +1, and I have the greens on my fingers. You can see around here, meaning I have good exposure. And if I turn it off, you can see this is a good looking skin tone. You can see, but it's not in focus. It's blurry because the only thing that was in focus is the light stand when we checked it. Let's go over to the next thing, which is the exposure button. I don't have to say much now about this exposure stuff because I don't even use it. I don't even touch it in my videos, and I don't even lock it because there is something about this Blackmagic camera. This exposure is being controlled by ISO, and I also think even the shutter measurements too. So once you have controlled your shutter measurement and your ISO, you don't need to go to the exposure stuff again. That's how I shoot my video. It has been working that way. Now let me go to this icon. This one at the center is the record button. If I hit record, it's gonna show time code up where you can see red time code and it's recording. So I'm going to stop it. Let me go over to this icon, which is our lens. So I've talked about this lens before. So I'm moving to the LUT icon. Now in the LUT, I'm going to say something. The LUT is going to give you a preview of how your footage will look in post. What is post? After editing, how your footage will look. That's if you are using this particular LUT in your editing. For example, let me turn on this cinematic and see how our footage is looking with the cinematic LUT. You can see how our footage is looking. If I click this day night, let me shift it to day night. This is how our footage is looking. To the dusty, this is how our footage is looking. Monochrome, these are built-in LUTs that came with the Blackmagic camera app. You can see this on nostalgic, final rift, vivid, warm, fade. You can see every of them. Now let's say for the cinematic that we like this look and we want to, now as this setting is, if you record your video like this, after recording your video is not going to have this look because you did not click this button down here. This button down here says burn this LUT into the video, meaning I want the output of my video, that is after shooting, I want to see this look. I want my video to have this look after shooting. Then you click this button. But if you just want to use the LUT as preview, that you want to apply the LUT in your editing, you don't want to apply it, you want to do your color conversion and the rest of them, while balance your footage and the rest of them before applying the LUT, then you just use it here as for monitoring. And as for monitoring, you should make sure this button is not on. This particular button I'm turning on now, so you have to turn it off. When you turn this on, you can switch between different looks that you want, then use it for monitoring. Even if you click record, your footage is not going to be like this, but once you turn on this button down here, your footage will carry this LUT in export. I'm going to turn it off. Let's go to here. This is stabilizer. Some people's phone have standard and optical, but this particular one just have only optic. So what is stabilizer? Let's say you are holding this camera handheld and you are running that shaky effect and stuff, like you want to limit it. Or let me say you're not running, you are holding the camera but your hand is vibrating. You can enable this optical stabilizer or optical mode so that the Blackmagic camera app will help you to balance your shots so that you not achieve a shot that is shaky. If you are a first timer on this channel, please do well to subscribe to this channel. We teach video editing just like this and even shooting, and we also give free premium softwares that are needed for your productivity, and that is why we are Productive Tech.